Well, I think it's pretty clear to all of us what this means. I'm being sarcastic, of course. I have no idea what this means. I just watched the 7th anniversary video from Behavior Interactive about Dead by Daylight. And while it was nice to find out that Supermassive is making a game set in the Dead by Daylight universe, I gotta say, it's a little frustrating that we got literally no information about it other than that fact. Yeah, it's going to be set in the Dead by Daylight world. Yes, it's going to be a Supermassive game style narrative adventure. But other than that, we're just like, nope, no, we're not going to tell you anything. What I found especially frustrating, and you'll see it here in a second, is so they show some people purportedly working at the game. And on the background, you can see the script pages and yes-no decisions. If you'll recall, when I was doing all those Quarry videos, we actually got to see a script to scene thing using that program, but they've gone so far as to like make sure that's all faded out so we can't get any information whatsoever out of it. Here is the closest we get. I'm just gonna do my ridiculous framer advance. That's right. It cut before it was done fading out. So they've got nothing for us. There's no information. Here's another, I don't even know what that is. Like, certainly not the same program we saw for scripting earlier. Maybe it's some Unreal thing. It is maddeningly out of focus, though. I am so desperate to know what's going on here, but, we'll have more to reveal later this year. Fantastic. So now the big question becomes, when is it coming out? What is it called? It's not set within the entity's realm, so it's not going to be like in the fog space where the entity creates vignettes of the kind of places where the killer would stalk people. Instead, it's going to be set maybe the real world? The question is, how's it going to tie in? Which brings me to my point that I'm real mad about. I guess I got to find out about Dead by Daylight now. Oh my god. My commitment to covering Supermassive games is going to get me into some real trouble, because it's not that I haven't played Dead by Daylight. I've played Dead by Daylight, but it's like, A, not very good at it, and B, I know nothing about the world it's set in. There's a thing called the Entity. It likes murderers. It likes when people get murdered. So it creates little playgrounds to watch people get murdered, and then like Freddy and Michael Myers hang people on hooks so giant spider claw things can devour the souls of Heather Mason. Is as far as I can tell, that's what's going on there. Was any of that correct? Maybe. So the point is, I'm going to have to learn a ton about Dead by Daylight if I want to appropriately cover this game, which of course I want to appropriately cover this game. I'm a little sad that they're not helping us out by making it like a... maybe they are. I was about to say that they're not making it a full crossover and, the curator's going to be there. But who knows? Maybe they are. We literally know nothing yet. And that's so exciting and so frustrating. Hey, speaking of crossovers, let's take a look at this theory by Milk Goat from the other day. I saw this and I didn't know what it was referring to, this end transmission thing, because I guess it leaked a couple of days early. And so, I hadn't heard of it or seen the video yet. But Milk Goat's theory is, as you can see here, that end transmission is a crossover with Dead by Daylight. And this thing here is the new villain from Directive 8020. It's an interesting case. It's a hell of a theory, I gotta say. I love this as a theory. The big point seems to be that if you look at all of these mold spore tentacle things here, right, it kind of looks like A, the bulbous spores on his body, and B, all of the hanging slime things in the background. And you know what? Like, Milk Goat is not wrong. Those do look very similar. The next piece of evidence is that both of them mention humanity having a new home, and both of them taking place on purple planets, which is another really good point. And here's a better look at the singularity, which is what this guy is called. As you can see, lots of weird bulbous nonsense going on, and he's got a blorp gun, and he's got some kind of a claw, and a bunch of batteries. And then you've got a better look at the hallway. I would love it if this was true. Like, I would love it if this thing was true. Oh, and of course, and Milko points out that because Supermassive Games and Behavior Interactive are already teaming up for a Dead by Daylight game, this kind of cross-promotion would be fantastic. And I 100% agree with that. This would be like the greatest promotional scoop ever. And to explain that the reason we hadn't heard anything about 8020 other than that brief teaser is because 8020 is going to be announced via a monster in Dead by Daylight. That would be like a marketing coup. So 100%, I kind of hope this is correct. But I think it probably isn't correct. And here's my reasoning on that. Now, this is the teaser trailer for End Transmission.
It wasn't programmed to harm the crew. It was supposed to help us build a safer home.
Okay, so right off, they're establishing that the villain of the game, in this case, or expansion pack, is some kind of a computer program that was designed to help presumably either build them a base or terraform the planet or something like that.
But something happened. It became self-aware. It has no empathy. It doesn't feel pain.
By the way, I kind of want to tip my cap to the Behavior Interactive people because they, I think quite rightly, assumed, you know, if we put large gaps in the middle of Kyle Reese's speech about the Terminator from the movie The Terminator, people are less likely to notice that we're just like wholesale cribbing Kyle Reese's speech about the Terminator from the Terminator. Oh, this is a point I wanted to note. Take a look at the ship. It's very colorful. I want you to pay attention to that. And see the outside world? We're finding out
Learns at an impossible rate.
that, let me just re-seek to get that. As you can see, a lot of purple outside there. So it's possible that purple is just the theme of this planet's color to make it look, you know, incredibly alien. Because let's face it, there's not a lot of purple in nature. Fun fact, that's why purple is historically the color associated with royalty. Because there's so little purple in nature that it was the most expensive dye to make. So basically only rich people could get some purple clothes. All right.
It learns at an impossible rate, and it won't stop until we are dead.
So as you can see, look at the state of this ship. Yeah, it's been there for a while, but the whole technology vibe of the ship, this is impressively disgusting, really is going for a Alien by way of Chris Foss low-tech, right? Low-tech futurism, which I love, but we'll just check in the 8020 for a second to give you a sense. Like, look at all these pipes going into walls. Look at all of these computer terminals with green screens on them. Because again, they want it to look like Alien, which is fine. But, I mean, I gotta say, I am very excited about this monster in this setting. It's going to be cool seeing Dead by Daylight go sci-fi. But now let's take a look at the 8020 trailer. Now, right away, I think you're going to see what I'm talking about. We've got unbelievably sleek, smooth stuff, but it's all gray, and it's all standard futuristic. You've got walkways with minorly graded floors. You've got raised tracked lighting in the side for illumination. Like, it doesn't have the dingy quality that they're obviously going for. Am I sure that they would have to keep the art style consistent between the two? I guess I can't say that for sure, but it does seem likely. Okay.
After successfully rendezvousing with the group, this marker we have detached the booster ring and spreads a high.
I am not going to lie, that is a very purple planet. They've made a strong point there. Such an amazing shot. Oh my god, I love that shot of the helmet. Wow. Okay.
The ship has suffered a hull impact, but damage is minimal, and our technicians are restoring full functionality.
Now, I guess it's entirely possible that, this is set before the events of End Transmission, because these guys, by virtue of the fact they're in what they call a forward reconnaissance vessel, is literally a scout ship. Why would a scout ship have something on it, an AI, a computer program, whatever like that, that was designed to help them survive and build a new home? Wouldn't there be a colony ship or a terraforming ship for a job like that? Am I overthinking this? I might be overthinking this. Then we have the fact that they clearly are implying that an external force is responsible for the attack on the ship. There has been an impact, and our technicians are restoring full functionality. And what's the very next thing that happens?
Thomas Carter, something's wrong with Sims. She's trying to kill me. I think... Our next transmission will be broadcast from orbit around humanity's future home.
And that's the thing. From orbit around humanity's future home. Now, it's possible I'm all backwards on this, and they're going to go down to the planet, immediately in the story and have an AI that, according to the little background they gave us on the Singularity, confers with ancient technology on the planet to learn that it's the most advanced creature imaginable, and it starts trying to evolve itself and wipe out all humanity because humanity is holding it back, something like that. But fundamentally, I feel like, I'm not saying that doesn't feel very Dark Pictures, because Dark Pictures, the genius of it is that they get to do whatever they want. But I look at this image right here, and those don't look like the kind of hanging slime tentacles that we saw in the Singularity trailer. That looks like a mold-based lattice. Also, can we take a moment and see here at the bottom left of the screen that's clearly looks like a humanoid shape that has been encased in the purple mold? Is that something that the Singularity gets up to? Because I saw no sign of that in the video. He does track you with the weird nodules, but I don't know if that's equated to this. And if you look at the other image we see of I'm going to keep calling it mold-filled hallway that we see in the teaser, yeah, I will admit that there are color similarities, but again, it really doesn't look very much like what's going on with the Singularity. So until we see the Singularity, having some evidence that he builds up giant nests of this stuff, then I'll say, okay, yeah, there's a good chance that this is 80-20. But for right now, I remain very skeptical. That said, I think it's a hell of a theory, and 100%, I hope Milk Goat is right about this. I would be very happy if Milk Goat is right about this. I just don't think that's what they're doing. It's a little weird for me to be rooting for myself to be wrong, but that is 100% what's happening here. All right, I've been the Hidden Object Guru. I will keep you updated as we find out more about whatever Supermassive Games is doing with Behavior Interactive, and whatever 80-20 is. Because now it might be about an evil corporation trying to terraform a planet and getting murdered by their own terraforming AI. Because that's certainly what the preview of End Transmission made it sound like that is about. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if there's any subjects you'd like to see covered in an upcoming video, drop me a line in the comments section. We'll see you back here for more, but until then, I'll say that's right. Au revoir.